period of faithful service to God. However, Solomon began to disregard God's law. We read, "And King Solomon himself loved many foreign wives along with the daughter of Pharaoh, Moabite, Ammonite, Edomite, Sidonian and Hittite women, from the nations of whom Jehovah had said to the sons of Israel, You must not go in among them, and they themselves should not come in among you. Truly they will incline your heart to follow their gods." It was to o textoi acute miritra longo. Solomon 992, 9. 30. The account does not say that Solomon completely forsook the worship at the temple and the offering of sacrifices there. He apparently attempted to practice a sort of interfaith, in order to please his foreign wives. For this, Jehovah came to be incensed at Solomon, because his heart had inclined away from Jehovah the God of Israel, the one appearing to him twice. Jehovah informed Solomon that, as a consequence, he would rip part of the kingdom away from him, but not in Solomon's day, out of respect for David and for the sake of Jerusalem. But he would do it in the days of Solomon's son, leaving that son with only one tribe besides Judah, which tribe proved to be Benjamin. 1 11. 9-13. Resistors of Solomon. From that time on, Jehovah began to raise up resistors to Solomon, primarily Jeroboam of the tribe of Ephraim, who finally pulled 10 tribes away from being loyal to the throne in Rehoboam's time, and who established the northern kingdom that came to be called Israel. As a young man, Jeroboam, because of his industriousness, had been placed by Solomon over all the compulsory service of the house of Joseph. Also giving trouble to Solomon were Hadad the Edomite and Rezin, an enemy of David who became king of Syria. 1 11. 14-40. 12. 12-15. King Solomon's drawing away from God had its bad effect on Solomon's rule. It became oppressive, doubtless due to the drain on the economy, because of the high costs of his government, which must have been increasing to excess. There was also discontent among those he had conscripted for forced labor and, no doubt, also among their Israelite overseers. Having turned away from following God with a complete heart, Solomon would no longer receive Jehovah's blessing and prosperity or the continued wisdom to govern in righteousness and justice and to solve the problems arising. As Solomon himself had stated, "When the righteous become many, the people rejoice. But when anyone wicked bears rule, the people sigh." PR 29. 2. That this situation came about is made clear by the record of what took place shortly after Solomon's death, when Rehoboam ruled. Through the prophet Ahijah, God had sent a message to Jeroboam, telling Jeroboam that God would give him 10 tribes and that if he would keep his statutes, God would build him a lasting house, just as he had done for David. After this, Solomon sought to kill Jeroboam, who fled to Egypt, where a successor of the father of Solomon's Egyptian wife now ruled. Jeroboam remained there until Solomon's death. Then he led the people in a complaint to Rehoboam and finally in rebellion. 1 11. 26-40. 12. 12-20. Though Solomon had inclined his heart away from Jehovah, he lay down with his forefathers, and was buried in the city of David his father. 1 11. 43. 2ch 9. 31. Jesus, a legal heir of Solomon. Matthew traces the descendants of Solomon down to Joseph, the adoptive father of Jesus, thus demonstrating that Jesus had the legal right to the throne of David through the kingly line. Mount 1. 7, 16. Luke traces Jesus' lineage to Heli, apparently the father of Mary through Nathan, who was another son of David and Bathsheba and therefore Solomon's forebrother. Luke 3. 23, 31. Both lines of descent merge in Zerubbabel and Shealtiel and again branch out into 2 lines of descent. Mount 1. 12, 13. Luke 3. 27. Mary the mother of Jesus was a descendant through Nathan, and Joseph his adoptive father descended through Solomon, so that Jesus was both a natural and legal descendant of David, with full right to the throne. See genealogy of Jesus Christ. Need to guard the heart. As long as Solomon maintained an obedient heart, with which he was concerned at the beginning, he had Jehovah's favor and he prospered. But his bad outcome demonstrates that knowledge, great ability, or power, riches, and fame are not the most important things, and that to turn away from Jehovah is to forsake wisdom. O textoi acute miritra longo, Sun 993 Prince of Peace. Issa 9. 6 His name Jedediah meaning beloved of Jah harmonizes with God's own statement about his son at the time of Jesus' baptism. This is my son, the beloved, whom I have approved. Mount 3. 17. Psalm 72 is a prayerful expression in behalf of the rule of Solomon. Let the mountains carry peace to the people. In his days the righteous one will sprout, and the abundance of peace until the moon is no more. And he will have subjects from sea to sea, apparently the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. X 23. 31 And from the river Euphrates to the ends of the earth. PS 72. 3-8. On Psalm 72. 7 Until the moon is no more, Cook's commentary says. This passage is important as showing that the idea of a king whose reign should last to the end of time was